Oh, hello, and welcome to our first Advent reflection. My name is Troy Preston, and you caught me reading the Bible. Isn't that what all Episcopal priests do to have a good time? Actually, I'm reading a chapter of Luke each day as we lead up to Christmas. There are 24 chapters, so it's absolutely perfect. I'm at the part where we're reading about John the Baptist. What an interesting character that John is. You know, he's not somebody that we necessarily think of as part of the Christmas story, but he is very important as we make our way toward Christmas. John is not in any of the hymns that I know about for Christmas. He's not in any of the plays about Christmas, and he didn't make it to the Nativity. He wasn't in the manger when Jesus was born. But he's important nonetheless. John was the son of Elizabeth. Elizabeth was Mary's cousin. You probably recall that after Mary found out that she was pregnant, she went to stay with her cousin Elizabeth, who was also expecting a child. It was a miracle that Elizabeth was going to have a child because she was of advanced age. That's a way of saying that she was really old. And she had tried to have children in the past, but with no success. So here she was pregnant for John the Baptist when Mary comes, pregnant for Jesus, to stay with Elizabeth. And she stayed with her for 3 months. Well, as John grew up, he grew up in the desert. And he ate honey and locusts and wore camel hair clothing. Not necessarily a fashion plate, was he? But he did this probably to adhere to some strict religious guidelines, some strict religious laws of the time that he ascribed to. You know, John the Baptist, when he was in his 20s, left the desert and went to the river Jordan, and where he spent time baptizing and preaching. He baptized many, including, of course, Jesus. John the Baptist, in his day, was seen as an Elijah-type character. Some actually thought that he was Elijah, because the prophets of old had told of a forerunner for the Messiah, and they thought that John was just that forerunner. John preached a message of repentance and prepared the way for the Messiah. His message of repentance was one of getting in right relationship with God. Being in right relationship with God and being in right relationship with your neighbor, with members of the community, with others. And you know, that message of John's is important for us today as we make our way and we prepare our hearts and we prepare our homes for the coming of Jesus, for the Messiah, for his special visit this Christmas. Preparing not only our hearts but our homes. Well, how do we do that? What is the way that we can each do that in our context, in our time, and in our place? How do we reach out to others during this pandemic and share the message of God's love? How do we stay faithful to God during this time? And not only change our hearts, but to help change the hearts of others within this world. John the Baptist is definitely an important part of the Christmas story because he inspires us to ready ourselves, to prepare ourselves in our home for the coming of Jesus. How we need to do that, well, we have a few days to figure that out. About 20 to be exact before Christmas. Now, where was I?